The National Association of Chiefs of Police annual survey in 2017, which, quote, represents a broad cross-section of professional command officers involving every state and every size department. So that's very broad. They produced the following results to the following questions. Question number 1, should any vetted citizen be able to purchase a firearm for sport or self-defense? 88% said yes. 7% said no. 3% were NA. Question number 2, does your department support nationwide recognition of state-issued concealed weapon permits? In other words, reciprocity. 85% said yes, 11% said no, 3% were NA. And then the third question was, can qualified law-abiding armed citizens help law enforcement reduce violent criminal activity? 80% said yes, 15% said no, and 4.5% were NA. That is your gun truth of the week. Now, I got to tell you, let's be clear on this. So this was done by one of their organizations, but this was done. They were talking about, like the frontline. They were talking about, these were beat cops that did this. In other words, this wasn't their government affairs guy. This wasn't their union rep or whatever. And the reason I want to make that distinction is because their unions, their organizations are typically on the wrong side of gun laws. And it's real easy, they found in California, if they want to get the police departments on their side when they're doing some kind of anti-gun law or bill, or if they just want the police to just stay out of it, they exempt them. And then boom, law enforcement says, we don't care. We support it because we're not affected by it. It is very important to understand that the line guys, the frontline guys, the beat cops, the guys that are actually out there enforcing laws, overwhelmingly support your right to keep and bear arms, whereas the organizations that represent them vote a lot of times in a very different way. And I think that reflects poorly on law enforcement and has changed the attitude towards law enforcement, or at least in part has been part of the reason that gun owners have a relationship with law enforcement officers that shouldn't be as strained as it is. That's a good way of putting it, right? Mm-hmm. So I got to tell you, if you're a law enforcement officer, whether current or former, and you care about the Second Amendment, this is one of your issues that you care about. And if you're listening to the show, I'm assuming you're that person. Making the organizations that represent you, that take your membership fee, making them respect the Second Amendment, making them respect or support candidates who respect the Second Amendment, I think should be a huge priority. That's somewhere you could have a huge difference on the state of affairs in your state, in your community, in your county when it comes to Second Amendment, because I butt heads with law enforcement organizations often. They do not prioritize your Second Amendment rights, and they downright go against them sometimes. So there you go. Hey, thanks for watching Gun Owners Radio. I hope you loved that clip. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and follow us on social media, and check out our website at gunownersradio.com.